Hi, beautiful people. How are you doing today? Someone called me up the other day and they said that I've been watching your video and I noticed that you have like two personalities. Wrong. I have like 65 personalities, and the one that I'd like to portray today is the dumb blonde. Honestly, I'm so mad about what's going on right now, and I want to put it the best way that I can, so I'll just pretend to be the dumb blonde. So they say it's Independence Day, and I've been living in America for over 23 years, so I wonder what that is. And I looked it up, and it said Independence Day, a federal holiday in the United States of America, and it's about the adoption of the Declaration of Independence. In America, thousands of children are going hungry right now. I mean thousands. And if you've noticed, I've sent you out a lot of videos from YouTube, and you'll realize that there is a particular video showing a bunch of kids living on the road that leads to Disney World. On the road that leads to Disney World, there are like 45 motels, and families are living in them right now. And if they can't pay for the motel for that particular day or night, they'll have to go. I live like 3 minutes from Disney World. I also live in Orlando, and the situation is terrible. It's real terrible. And when you're on the outside looking at the apartments, everything seems fine because the apartments in Orlando, they look so good. Also, the McDonald's, it's more beautiful than the regular McDonald's because you're in Orlando. You're right next to Disney World. So everything is looking super. Even when you look at the buses aren't like ordinary buses. They have different colors. They're so colorful. But the reality of it all is that children are suffering. And I came to Orlando about 8 months ago, and I rented an apartment because this is the worst time in history to be buying a house anywhere in any part of the world, you know, and I rented this apartment. You look on the outside, everything is looking fine. But every night I sit at the window and I wonder what is going on behind closed doors. So right now, I don't need, no offense, I don't need nobody to tell me about celebrating Independence Day.
If this is your time, nothing can stop you. Things will be fine. If this is your time, go make it, it's fine. Live your life. Don't be unkind.
They're bringing in this thing where if you need to be on welfare, you will have to do a drug test. Oh, my God. Do you expect someone to come off drugs in a day? It takes a while to come off drugs. First of all, who put the drugs in the ghetto? You did. You did, because most of the drugs empire is owned by people that are in the government, believe it or not. And so they have many of our children hooked on drugs, you know, and many adults, they're growing to adults and they're hooked on drugs, and then you say you cannot get welfare because you are on drugs. That leads that person to either steal or kill themselves. You know, I went to my bed the other night and I got a dream. I dreamed that I was in prison. But every now and then, I was able to get out of prison, do certain things, and get back in prison. And that is exactly what it is. Because sometimes I'll be home, and I want to go on the street. But I know that the minute I go on the street, I know that everything costs. And everything costs excess right now. You go into Walmart and you look at baby clothes. Baby clothes cost more than adult clothes. You're looking at a little tiny baby clothes for $38, and you say to yourself, how many mothers can afford this? By the time you buy 10 pieces of baby clothes, you're looking at $500. Now, how many mothers can afford that? You look at the baby formula. As a matter of fact, baby formulas have been poisoning children lately. you know, and that's another topic by itself, but people can't even afford baby formulas. The prices in the supermarket have skyrocketed. I mean, you can't even afford to sit and eat a decent meal. And I'm not just talking about you. I'm talking about me. Because when things started to happen in America, when I realized that things were getting worse and worse, the first thing I did was downsize. No longer in the big house looking up at the roof and think that I'm in this big Catholic church. No, I downsized. And I also got rid of my vehicle because I said, things are going to get worse. What I have to do is get rid of most of the things that makes me look good. Also, God told me that at this moment, Mona, I want you to own nothing but yourself. Own nothing. And so I remember calling my sister and giving away everything, and neighbors giving away everything, and moving to Orlando, because the lighter you are is the easier to travel. Because if you notice nowadays, the Bible tells you that you will run to the rock and the rock cry out, no hiding place. You run to this state, there is a flood. You run to another state, there is a flood. You run to another state, there is a flood. I mean, America, the worst is about to happen. And I'm a servant of the true and living God, whether you believe it or not. And I'm here to tell you, and I invited you to tell you, that beginning in October, going onwards, it's going to be like the worst time in history. Are you prepared for it? There are many ways. The overall problem is this to the government. The country is overpopulated. And what I'm saying to you right now may sound like nonsense, but one of these days you're going to remember DJ Mona Lisa. And I don't have to say all the gifts that God gave to me, but I can tell you this much, that I do have the gift of prophecy, and no one can say that God isn't speaking to me, okay? And let me tell you, how will the government get rid of people? One of the ways that the government will get rid of you is through the food. So you have to be careful what you eat. If you notice in Europe, there's E. coli in Europe, and in America, if you look it up, Google it, you'll realize that thousands of people die from the food. Make sure you cook your food at home, and be careful of the water. Be careful of the water that you're drinking. I've sent out quite a few videos on YouTube trying to warn you about what's going on today in this world.
You never thought that your life would be like this. All your friends are gone.